Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Saratoga Racecourse here on Saturday. It is July the 27th, 2019. I'm going to look at the stakes races on today's program from Saratoga, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for racecourses around the world, and join me today for my King George preview from Ascot's The Return of Enable, or her second start of the season, and also join me today for my Deauville preview today and tomorrow. Actually, some great races coming up from Deauville this weekend and all throughout the summer. How to explain Deauville? It's like the Saratoga of France and Europe. It's all the best horses. You're going to go there, and it's just some great racing. So join me the next few Saturdays and Sundays for that. But let's get to the card from Saratoga today. Some great races. We're going to look at all the stakes races 9, 10, and 11. So let's start off with the ninth race from Saratoga, which is the Grade 1 $350,000 Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap. It's going for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 7 horses going to the main track, which is hopefully rated fast. The distance of ground of 1,200 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 furlongs here in the Vanderbilt. 1,200, 6 furlongs. And I always show the diagram. It just gives me that little extra second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. My top selection, I'm going to try and beat my Totally here in the graveyard of favorites, but I'm going to take the 4-horse Friends Fire. I'm going to go 4-3-1-6 in the superfecta. 4-3-1-6 super. Top selection, the 4-horse Friends Fire. This 4-year-old colt by Poseidon's Warrior. Jason Service trains. Irad Ortiz Jr. gets the leg up. The horse's most recent appearance came to 8th of June at Belmont, 1 mile in the Metropolitan Handicap, and the horse finished 5th by 4 3/4 lengths. I did back him at 9-2 that day, but he was very wide, and he just didn't show up. He just couldn't keep the distance there. I think coming back to 6 furlongs, which he's almost won, is his preferred trip, I think he'll run a lot better. Also, his stalking position on this in this race will really suit him because there's a ton of speed, I think. Before the Met Mile, he ran the run happy at Belmont, 6 furlongs, May the 11th, and he won by 4 3/4 lengths. He stalked early on, he got the lead, and then he took off clear. It was a very good run. He only lost once at Belmont, that was in the Met Mile, but in the run happy, he won very nicely in his second start of the year. And then before that, 31st of March at Tampa, 6 furlongs in the Tampa Sprint Florida Stakes, where they call the race. He finished 3rd by 5 3/4 lengths. First off the break, he just had nothing. He desperately needed the race. And then last year ran the British Cup Dirt Mile at Churchill, where he finished 4th by 11 1/4 lengths, and he just never really got that good turn of foot. He looked like he was going to show a little bit in the stretch at top of the lane, but then he just kind of weakened out of it. It wasn't the day to win. But he started here at Saratoga 3 times, and he has 1 victory to his name, but that was as a 2-year-old. But he ran here last summer in the King's Bishop Alan Jerkins, where he finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths, closing up well that day behind Promises Fulfilled. But if he had a little better trip, I think he could have won. But he ran a good race here. I like him coming back to 6 furlong trip. I like a lot of pace in this one. And I think at 9-2, I expect him to run well, so I'll take him. So to recap my selection for the ninth from Saratoga, it's the Grade 1 Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap. Let's take the 4-horse Friends Fire. We'll go 4-3-1-6 in the superfecta. Race number 10 from the Spa. It is the Grade 2 Bowling Green Stakes. Grade 2 event going for purse of $250,000. Race is for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 13 horses. A baker's dozen are going to the inner turf course. The distance of ground of 2,200 meters, or the distance of ground of mile 3/8 on that inner turf course. 2,200 meters, mile 3/8 inner turf. And the rail's at 0 feet, so they'll be running against the hedge here. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 5-horse, who is Channel Maker. I'm going to go 5-2-11-1 in the superfecta. 5-2-11-1 super. If you're going to play the multi-race, pick 4, pick 5. I actually might play pick 3, connecting races 9 through 11. But if you are going to play the multi-race, I would go 3 deep here. I think it's a 3-horse race between the 5, 2, and 11. But the top selection would be the 5-horse Channel Maker. The 5-year-old gelding by English Channel, who's best to be remembered by winning the 2007 British Cup Turf at Monmouth on a very sludgy, heavy turf course. But that's for another day. Belmont trains this one. Joe Rosario gets the leg up, but the horse's most recent outing came the 8th of June at Belmont, a mile and a quarter in the Grade 1 Manhattan, and the horse finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths there. He had a wide posture, and he just never got that good turn of foot. Brixton Moore, who was probably, in my eyes, is leading candidate for Horse of the Year this year, ran a hell of a race going the mile and a quarter, and he's actually targeting the Darlington Million in a few weeks. But he ran his heart out there. This horse just had nothing, couldn't keep up with him. But I think the longer trip should help, and also coming to Saratoga should help. Where he's run some good races. Before then, the Man of War at Belmont, mile 3/8, May the 11th. He won by a neck that day. He sat back early. The horse in front ran a hell of a race. The pace set for O'Brien, but this horse got to him in the end. Looked like he was going to go away with it, but he kind of pulled up at the end. He still got the job done. It was a good effort. It wasn't the most impressive, but he got the job done. And then before then, the McDermott at Gulfstream, mile 3/8, March the 2nd. He finished fourth by 1.5 lengths. He stalked from a wide post and he just never had the turn of foot. And then he ran the Pegasus Turf Cup, where he finished fifth. Again, closed up a little bit, but it wasn't anything spectacular. And also, I don't think he liked the heavy going. But he did win on heavy going last fall at Belmont in the mile and a half Joe Hurst Turf Classic. And the horse won by 4.5. And on the front and all throughout, he found the good part of the ground on the rail, and he just took off clear. That was a very impressive run. You keep in mind, Robert Bruce was on the outside and had all the sludgy ground, but this horse on the inside ran a hell of a race. But then he ran the Brews Cup Turf on even heavier grounds and ran a crap race against tougher horses, where he finished 11th by 42 3/4 lengths. That just proves how bad our turf division was last year. This horse just wasn't getting into it, but he won this race last year close to the front end. Actually won it with Glorious Emperor, who won next start out in the Sword Dancer. But he should do well here, sitting closer, which I think you need here on the center turf course. 7-2, I'll take him. So to recap my selection for the 10th from the spots, the Grade 2 Bowling Green. Let's take the 5-horse Channel Maker. We'll go 5-2-11-1 in the superfecta, 5-2-11 in this pick 3 we're going to be playing. To race number 11, the feature of the program from Saratoga, it is the Jim Dandy Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse, $600,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 6 horses in this local Travers Prep, going the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or 1 lap around the Saratoga main dirt, which is 1 mile and 1/8 in circumference. 1 mile and 1/8 here. My top selection, I'm going to go to the number 6 horse here, who is War of Will. I'm going to go 6-4-5-3 in the superfecta. 6-4-5-3 super. If you're going to play the multis, I'm going to go 6-4. I think it's a 2-horse race between those two. I'm going to throw out Taxidus here, because I think it'll get overbet. But the top selection is 6-horse War of Will. The Strio Colt by Warfront. Mark Cassie trains. Tyler Gaffleone, who's having a pretty good meeting, gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came the 8th of June at Belmont, 1.5 miles in the Belmont Stakes, and he finished 9th by 7 1/4 lengths that day. And he didn't break all that wide. Well, he was wide throughout, and he just did not stay. It was a very tough Triple Crown campaign. I think it got to him. I think coming back here to Saratoga, a little lesser quality race, shorter distance. I think he'll run a lot better. Before that, in the Preakness at Pimlico, mile 3/16 at May the 18th, he probably ran the best race of his life that day. He won by 1/4 lengths, and he was 6-1, which was a shame. He should have been the favorite that day. I did make a lot of money with him that day. Paid off a few, student loans that day with him, from college. But that afternoon, he stalked early on after breaking well. He had the rail all the way around. He got the lead on the inside, and then he took off clear, and he ran a major race. It was a very good run. And then before that, we all know what happened in Derby. He got cut off at 5/16, and he just kind of weakened out of it to 8th. But that was a weird race. And then even before that was even weirder racer in the in Louisiana Derby at Fairgrounds, mile 8th, where he finished 9th by 12 lengths. And they said he pulled the muscle that day. He just wasn't himself. But before that, he won the Risen Star easily. He won the LeComte very easily, and broke his mane at Churchill very easily. And I thought he even ran a decent 5th place finish on the turf in the Brewers Cup turf, juvenile turf at Churchill. He's a good horse. He's faced the toughest of this group. I think a 5-2 here today. Speed favoring course. I think he'll run well, so I'll take him here. So to recap my selection for the 11th from Saratoga, it is the Grade 2 Jim Dandy. Let's take the 6-horse War of Will. We'll go 6-4-5-3 in the superfecta. We'll go 6-4 in the pick 3 multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck.